Hi again, everyone. Well, clothes. I'm not going again. I'm not doctor or scientist or specialist in anything. So I'll just tell you my experience, and well, if you can relate and it helps, well, good. So clothes. First, tight clothes. I'll start with the underwear. For ladies, well, I don't know if men wear bras maybe, but anyway, mostly ladies, let's say. Um, Bras can be kind of like a circle of, I don't know, a band of iron that's trying to crush your ribs because they press just at the wrong places around the ribs. And then they'll also, because of the straps are just being just next to where the fibro pressure point is, it'll set off pain too. So, well, I'm lucky on that score. Well, some people might say I'm not, but I never had much to show on that score, so I can get away with not wearing a bra most of the time during the day when I'm at home, at least. And when I do have to wear one because I need to go out, or someone's coming, and well, at a certain age it's not that appropriate to wander around without underwear. I wear these sports bras because they're specifically studied to spread the weight and the pressure around everywhere instead of just on the shoulder straps and around the neck. There's no, like anything, it's all in one piece, so the only challenge with that will be passing it over your head on the days where lifting your arms up is a major challenge. Sorry, but I've been having digestion problems and I've got a fibro cold as well, so by that I mean it's like a normal cold but doesn't react to anything you could do for a normal cold. So I'll wear sports bras, and I'll also take them one size larger than I would normally, so that they're not too tight and they don't press too much. For knickers, let's say, I would advise the same thing. Take them at least one size too large, so that the elastics don't cut just on the top of your sciatica nerve and on top of the lateral one, which I can't pronounce in English for the life of me, but anyway. And don't set don't set off pains just by being there. And once you get used to it, it's a lot more relaxing to have looser underwear than tight underwear, because well, I had a C-section each time I had my kids, so when I have tight underwear it does tend to cut on the scar as well, which isn't fun. Anyway, so that's the underwear. Socks, I tend to wear the ones that, the real short ones that you wear with trainers or something, that stop just under your shin bone. It took some getting used to because I've never really worn those. It's my daughter who introduced me to that. But they do have the advantage of not taking your ankle in a vice with the elastic. This being said, if you can't stand those kinds of socks, or you want longer ones, if you really can't, even if you take a size above the size you'll need, the elastic still hurts. There are specific socks specifically made for people with diabetes who have swelling problems in the legs, that the elastics are specifically made so that they don't, the socks don't fall down, but they don't, again, strangle your ankle in a thing of barbed wire. So you can try that, otherwise you'll have to go back to hippie mode and wander around barefoot. So that's the underwear kind of stuff. The same thing applies for clothes, really. Since I've had fibro, I will wear skinny jeans or something, but only the elastic kind, and only for 2-3 hours if I need to go somewhere or something, because as soon as I'm home it's back to baggy jammies or baggy something anyway, non-constraining clothes, because there's no point creating pressure points that exacerbate your pain if you can help it. So okay, maybe it's less sexy, well, too bad anyway, I've got no one to be sexy for. So that's another one of the pros of being single. You can wander around in baggy sweats all day and no one finds anything to say about it. So that's the baggy versus tight thing. Shoes. Yes, I can hear you cringing from here. I try and avoid wearing shoes as much as I can because some days it's just like really total torture to put my feet into shoes. This being said, there are circumstances where you can't wander around barefoot or with your slippers or whatever, so I also buy my shoes one size larger than my size. Sorry. It takes some getting used to because your feet slide around in your shoes, but on the other hand they hurt a lot less, so that's what I do. Not a too high heel, not too low, because otherwise it hurts the muscles in the back of your legs. What else? Of course, maybe that's why I'm single, because I spend my life in those, because they kind of protect my feet from walking on whatever the kids leave lying around. Luckily they don't play Lego anymore. And but on the other hand, they're kind of spongy when you walk on them, which really helps when you've got this phenomenon of thinking that you're walking on broken glass, which can last for a bit, or a day or 2 days or weeks, depending on your luck of the moment. I've had periods that lasted months even, where every single step literally brought tears to my eyes. I wasn't crying, it was just the pain that was making my eyes water, because I've really felt, I mean, I can't count how many times I looked on the floor to see if I had walked on broken glass. It was so realistic. Anyway, so my Crocs, maybe that's why I'm single. And for winter, my son got me these awesome slippers that I call granny slippers, but they're like a short ankle boot with fur inside, and like the Eskimos wear or something. That's the best I can describe them, because I don't know where they are, because it's not been winter for ages, so I stored them somewhere. The thing is, they come just above the ankle, so my shin bone doesn't freeze, and they keep my feet really warm. Again, they're one size too large, so that's fine. And also in those, they're really awesome. There's kind of a little air cushion in the sole, and so you know, it's like walking on a little cushion, which is really awesome. It relieves, even when you don't have this walking on broken glass thing, it's really comfortable to walk with them. The second thing, aside from being tight, is this total non-regulation of body temperature that goes with fibro. I have no idea if it goes with other illnesses too, but I know with fibro it's very specific and very annoying. So layers. Before, well, if it was winter, I'd put a long sleeve t-shirt on and then a thick jumper, and that was it. In summer, thin t-shirt, maybe I'd grab a cardigan to, if I was going somewhere, in case in the evening it got colder or whatever. And now I have to really think, especially in the climate I'm living in, where today, for example, we've at least switched 8 times from glorious sunny summer day to really grotty autumn day, complete with rain, wind and all the rest. And right now we're in a sunny phase, which probably won't last much longer because it's been there for 20 minutes already. Layers, because we don't regulate our temperature, so the clothes we have to do it consciously instead of the body fit being an automatic body function. We have to do it ourselves, which is another thing you have to stay focused on. When I think of all the things we have to stay focused on and do for ourselves, whereas other people it's just an automatic bodily reflex, I understand a bit better why we're always in this constant fibro fog, because we've got to think of so many things that normal people don't have to concentrate on. So, you have to keep a watch on yourself before it's too late. My example being that my window's always open because I always think I'm suffocating. I don't know if it's claustrophobia or fibro, but I do know loads of fibros who have the same problem. That as soon as there's lack of air, you think you're suffocating. And I don't know how many times a teacher will know that, because she's been witness to it a few times when I was talking to her. I have to be blue in the face and have my hands like this and be trembling before I realise I'm frozen stiff in winter, for example. Whereas a normal person would say, or me before even, oh, it's getting chilly here, I'll close the window or put a jumper on or something. No, you have to wait to be half dead frozen before your brain realises that it's time to do something about your body temperature. In which case, when I realise it that late, it takes 4 or 5 big plastic bottles full of really hot water that I put all around me in bed, like someone you've just rescued from the mountains or something. And it takes forever to bring the body temperature back up. And same thing when you're too warm. So, well, that's easier. Run a bit of really cold water on your wrists here and on your ankles, and aside from the cringe of having cold on fibro, it really helps bring the temperature down quickly. So layers. So what I'll do is I'll wear several layers, so a t-shirt, another t-shirt, or a shirt, or then a cardi, and obviously my scarf. So depending on if you're consciously keeping watch of it, and by consciously I mean I'm not thinking about it all the time, but I've set this warning thing in my brain to watch over my temperature, so that I don't wait for my brain to kick in. I've kind of put a monitor on it. Take first the scarf off, then the cardi off, then put it back on. And some people think I have compulsive disorder or something, because in the space of an hour it can happen that I take off and put back on my cardi or my scarf or whatever 4 or 5 times, because to balance it. It's really one of the things that annoys me a lot, that because it can even get dangerous, because before you realise you're too warm on a very, very hot sunny day or something, you can be borderline heat stroke. So it's really something you have to be attentive to. Anyway, so layers, that way you can do for yourself what your brain should be doing for you. It's really a lot of stuff that we have to. It's like a really whole new learning curve to learn to live with these kind of things. And the more I think about what I'm going to talk about in these videos and things, the more I realise there is to say that I kind of learned as I was going along, but that I know people who've had fibro for 25 years still didn't know that this body temperature thing was due to the fibro. So I think it is really, well, that's me anyway. I always fight better when I know what I'm fighting, and when I register and realise that. That's why I said in one of my early videos that I hadn't looked up on Google everything that having fibromyalgia implied at the time I was given the diagnostic, because that it was a mistake not having looked it up, because I went through all sorts of weird things like that I never had before, without realising. Because when someone tells you, oh, what's fibromyalgia? Oh, it's chronic pain, fatigue, and IBS or something, the things that make the most impact on people's minds. Finally, that's the tip of the iceberg, and all the rest you have to adapt to, both psychologically and in the way you live. Well, So maybe I should have learned about all this before. Well, whatever, I mean, hindsight is always a good thing, but not very useful. So I hope I can help at least a few of you with all my ramblings about all sorts of stuff. I was going to do, as I said in my little hello earlier on, a subject on depression, but I won't do it today. I just can't get my head around it because, yes, I know some people are going to say, witch, burner at the stake, blah, 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 but when it's full moon, me, I'm totally emotionally in a kind of... mentally and emotionally, it takes a few days. Like, I'm wondering where my emotions are going and what they're doing, and it takes I feel troubled without there being any specific reason. It's just kind of disturbed, if you like, and so I need to get my emotions better under control and everything before treating such a heavy and hard subject. And also, I'm not a shrink and I'm not a specialist, and I'm lucky that I always manage to drag myself out, except the very first bout of depression I had when I was, I don't know, 19 or something. No, I must have been a year or two older than that, because I already had my son, both, in fact. And that was my mother who dragged me out of it, because all I knew was that I was totally exhausted, which I put down to two childbirths, 2 C-sections under general anaesthetic in the space of 16 months. So, I mean, that does kind of take everything out of you. So I didn't really think any further than that. When I was feeling a bit gloomy, I thought it was, postnatal depression or whatever. And so I let myself go to the point that in the morning when my kids woke up, my mother lived 4 or 5 kilometers from my place. I used the only thing I could do was take my children, put them in the car, go to my mother's and have her change their nappies and dress them and get them out of their pajamas and all that. It was really the only strength I could find in my dredge up out of I don't know where was from my kids, because they were really, well, they were tiny. And for their well-being, that I managed to drag myself to my mother's place. Otherwise, that was it. Eat, no. Drink, barely. Even coffee, yes, I know, for those who know me, that's a surprise. And it was really terrible, and I hadn't recognised it for what it was. And it's my mother who really, from constant nagging and pushing and probing and talking and again and again and again and again, finally made me realise that it was just a mega depression I was going through. And if she hadn't been there and aware of the symptoms and recognising them in me, I don't know what would have happened, actually. So awareness about depression is a whole chapter unto itself, and I'm definitely not a specialist. The only thing I can do is tell my story and hope it helps some people. Anyway, so that'll be a subject for another time. Maybe I'll come back and do a shameless plug for Auntie Lindsay, who sent me a life-saving cushion in how to sit, how to lie down, how to sleep with the aid of cushions. Or maybe not, because I'm just dead on my feet at the moment. I'm really having difficulty struggling through everything I have to do these past few days. So maybe it'll stay at one video, because it takes a lot out of me, because I have to concentrate and also kind of make myself look human before I come and sit in front of you all. Otherwise, I can't depress you every single day looking like, I don't know, something the cat dragged in, like my daddy used to love saying. So it seems like nothing sitting in front of a camera and talking about stuff, but you have to concentrate so that you don't go off in 500 different directions, and try and keep the Yorkshire accent down to a minute. And also being bilingual is awesome, but it can also be very exhausting when you've got fibro fog, because you tend to, you know, mix them up and use a word that's literal translation from one to the other, and you know, everything's not really in compartments like it should be. It's all just like floating around in the fog. Anyway, so I'll stop talking now. See you maybe later or maybe tomorrow. And hi Lucy, that one's for you, just because you've been writing to me, and sorry about not posting one yesterday. Bye.